Cinnamon Cooney, the Art Sherpa, and I'm so excited to be telling you that I'm going to be coming to Facebook live October 20th, 6 p.m. Hey everybody, how are you doing? Thank you so much for your extraordinary patience. I'm very excited that we're going to be doing something new today. On the mic is my husband, John.
Hi, guys.
We're getting to know Facebook, which is a different animal for us.
It's different.
It's a different animal.
Has different challenges that we
Different challenges, but we're excited about them, and we're so.
Oh, there's a lot of love as we come into the room. Oh, so many hearts.
I love that there's hearts here.
Yes, there's lots of emojis. It's
I
really
love
nice.
a like on YouTube, but I love the heart of Facebook. It's hearts, and then stuff flows by, and that's just lovely. I don't actually get to see that. John sees that. He'll share the screen with me maybe a little bit later.
Maybe.
But we found that if I read the chat, I don't actually teach the painting. And that's what we're doing today. If you've just wandered here, Facebook gave you a notification, there's a lady with a hat and a painting. What are we doing? We're teaching art for free. And we're doing it in a very painting party style. So if you like sip and paints, if you like painting parties, if that's something you are currently excited about or are thinking about doing, this is going to be very much set up like that.
Yes.
I even have some ginger ale.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. The last of the really good ginger ale from Todd Graham.
Yes.
And so today, this is what we're painting, this wonderful fall pumpkin. And this is a very special class. So usually I use really professional paints, but I'm going to actually be using today Liquitex Basics. Oh, wait, what here?
Oh, there you go.
Liquitex Basics. And I'm even doing this on a little plate like you might have. Ooh. Right? So I've got the set of 12. If you follow the group, the Art Sherpa official group, this was voted on. You guys were allowed to pick any paint you wanted. And you guys wrote in and voted like crazy for basics. And then you voted for the set of 12. So we're going to be doing a few paintings on Facebook with these paints. The colors are colors that you might already and probably do have in your art kit if you're painting with basics. Probably the first question you have is like, well, what if I have other paints like Liquitex Heavy Body or Matisse or Golden? Can I paint this? Yes, of course you can. Right? But I'm going to be giving some tips and some inside pointers and insights to people who might be painting with student or economy paint.
Right.
To get a better result. And I did this design with economy paint on a economy pack of canvases.
Just so we could make it easy.
With only water. So that's what you can expect. Now, as I'm painting along, as I'm teaching the class, we're going to have some breaks. We're going to call them catch-ups. So you guys who are painting along, definitely chime in. Let us know you're painting with us. When we do a catch-up, I'm looking for you guys to say, hey, I'm there. Right? So we're going to try to do this at a slightly slower pace than I might do on YouTube so you can paint along. Yes,
and everybody's very excited about that. There's lots of people filling up in the room here. I know that I saw Donna and I think Samantha said she was painting along. I'm trying to see... oh, yeah, there's a whole bunch of folks here that are really excited about this. I see lots and lots of hearts. So
I love the hearts.
This is a little different for me back here on Facebook because it's got a little different interface. So I'm having to
learn it.
I'm having to learn it a little bit, but it's really I like the interactivity of all the little
things.
Emojis.
We might even have some moderators in here. If you see me chatting,
we do have some. That would be me.
That's John and moderators.
Me being you.
We have some people in there observing the chat. So it's going to be our usual good feels kind of space that we do. Are we ready to talk about the color?
I think so. Yeah,
all right, I'm going to take this over here. And I've got this nice little canvas. This is an 11 by 14, but you could do this particular painting, I think, on any size canvas. I think it's going to resize really well.
Yeah.
Over here on my little plate, I have my paint laid out. And I do this in a very specific way because I like to have room to mix the colors I know I want to mix. And so I put these things where I do. So I do, and I always put my white and black in the middle. And I always double up my plates because these things are usually pretty rickety. I have jars of water. If you're using solo cups, double those up. Do 2 solo cups, fill it halfway. Thing is super less likely to tip. So that's just good to know. And I've got an assorted set of brushes here. These are my black pearl brushes, so they're my entry-level student brushes. So, like, I'm not even coming in with my Art Sherpa reds. We're just using, our stuff. And I'm going to start out with this round brush that I have here to sketch in. I'm going to get it wet, and I'm going to drag off all the extra water. And I'll tell you why I am. One of the first things that you're going to learn with your paint
They were curious if you have wishes already on the canvas.
No, we're just doing the paint. I didn't do
Okay.
wishes on the
You didn't
canvas.
put wishes
That's
on
a
it?
YouTube thing.
Is it?
It's a YouTube thing. But I guess we could add
You can
wishes.
put a wish. Let's just put a wish for
Okay,
good being.
I need a...
I'll help you.
I need a watercolor thing or something. It has to disappear because the reason I actually wasn't thinking about necessarily the wishes is that it's very hard to get things to vanish under Liquitex Basics paint. And so I was really doubtful we were going to be able to get a wish to vanish.
Oh, well then we'll put a wish on the back of the canvas.
Wishes should go on the back of the canvas if you're painting student paints. There we go. Thank you. Happy to do that. Because I think it's good to put positivity in the air, and I know we have friends and family members going through surgeries, going through health results.
Well, yeah, let's just put a good wish out there for everyone, to there's a lot of folks out there who are going through some, through trouble from weather, or there's family who's
Let's just say for things to work out.
I think that's a good thing, for just a good wish for everyone to work out, and that's something that we like to do, and we'll share that with our YouTube, our Facebook family here.
All right,
if you
I
guys,
like that.
Yeah.
Well, but we're wishing on the back of the canvas.
Just today.
Well, no, anytime we do it, we'll do. If we're continuing the economy paints, we can wish, and we'll just do it on the back of the canvas, and that's lovely. Let's wish this is a successful, fun show for everybody.
Yes.
This is going to get left up on Facebook, and if you don't know this, there's a video tab, and if you go into it, you'll see a whole bunch of videos. And I'll put this in my full art lessons playlist, so you can just easily get to it. All right. Here we go. So I don't want this too wet, and let me go over the colors here real quick. So I have Cadmium Orange Hue. I have the primary yellow. You could use Hansa yellow, you could use your Cad yellow, but I have the primary yellow. I have light green permanent. I have burnt sienna, and this is interesting. I use this over the burnt umber because it has a slightly higher pigment load in the economy paints. We have a primary blue. We have phthalo green. We have the primary red, we have black, and we have white. And the other thing to remember about burnt umber is even on like professional paint, it's super transparent. So when you get into a student grade paint, that just amplifies. All right? So I'm going to take my little burnt umber here. You can use chalk or something else to sketch in, but I'm going to come about to the midpoint, right, everywhere on my canvas. And what's really sort of fun about my pumpkin is there really isn't a right or wrong pumpkin. But I'm going to curve a line over to the right. Every pumpkin has just kind of got a lot of personality. Just tipped my brush a little teeny tiny bit in water. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make another nice fat little happy. At this stage it should look like a bum sticking up in the air. If you're having trouble seeing it, now you see it.
Well, there you go.
There you go. That's all you got to do.
It's the pumpkin moon.
Right? It's the pumpkin moon. All right. So I'm going to let everybody get their drawings on the canvas and say hi.
We have a really full crowd here today.
Do we?
Renee and Haley and Denise, they're all sending big hearts. And and Dawn has just said, yay, pumpkins. So this is really great. The chat here goes by a lot faster.
Does
so
it?
It does.
Facebook is like about it, right?
It is. These guys are going here. So, and Donna says hello.
Hi, Donna.
So
Donna's a member of our labs program.
this is a different Donna.
Different Donna.
Different Donna.
Well, hello, different Donna. Hi.
And so
John needs to specify.
I do. We have, I would say, probably 10 Donnas. So
It's
hello,
a good
all the
and
Donnas.
honorable name.
Yeah.
All Donnas stand proud right now and feel wonderful.
And Brenda says she's new.
Hi,
so
Brenda.
Hi, Brenda. I guess you're the new one today.
Right.
So
And listen, guys, you can still pause me here like you do on YouTube.
yes.
But we're just kind of slowing it down. This is about us getting together and socially painting along and letting you guys, get your sketch in. Ask your questions. Feel like you're painting with me.
Oh, look.
Virtually.
So Caitlin says this is awesome. And I see Frisky Christy is here with us. And
Hi, Frisky
she's
Christy.
ready to go. So
Hi, girl.
I think we're about ready.
Are we ready? Okay.
I think we're caught up here now.
All right. So I'm going to use my number 10
Okay.
bright here, but you could just use any brush you have that's about this wide. I am going to get it just minorly damp because, again, with economy pigments, we want to hoard the color, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to paint a kind of crazy background. First, I'm going to get a little of my blue on the tip of this brush. And the thing about this paint is it's much wetter. That's the only way I can explain it. And it's much more like a glaze. So you're going to have a little more time before it dries on you. My paint dries on me like in a nanosecond. I got to be one of the things that moves me along as quickly as it does on YouTube is that I have to go very fast. So I'm painting this upper right hand corner with a little mix of blue and white.
Nice.
Now I'm going to come down here and look, I'm going to do this cool thing. I'm going to get another little bead of white. See that right there?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to just blend with my brush very softly. Just paint this white right into the blue. Just blending along. And you're going to find this does this pretty easily. This is sort of fun because you can jump along. I don't even have to rinse. I'm going to get some of my bright green, little bead of bright green right there. Let's come along the top of the pumpkin. There is not a right or wrong way to do this background. It's very abstract. And I'm just coming along the top and blending these two spaces together. As I come up, I can do a cool thing where I can grab another little bead of white. Come right there, look at that. And it just starts to make it sort of whimsical. I'm going to come right there and add a little white.
Oh, yeah.
All right. See how it's going? I'm going to rinse out. But I'm going to drag off any extra water because I don't want a bunch of water on my brush. I'm hoarding my pigment. Letting you paste a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Now, let's see here. Jerry was asking, is this going to be up on YouTube?
Nope.
No, this is going to be a Facebook only.
These are going to be Facebook events. We have another one in a couple weeks, mostly because we had some work to do. But we're going to try to do them kind of regularly and have it be just sort of a different thing that we're doing.
Well, it's
I'm going to get some of my dirt. Oh, but sorry.
I was going to say, it's kind of exciting because we're already got over 300 people with us.
That's wonderful.
So they're here to paint.
How are they doing?
They're good.
Who we had checking in painting? Who's painting?
Well,
Shout in.
Shannon
Roll call.
Shannon says her 8-year-old says, I love your cool paintings and is really enjoying painting along with us.
I'm so glad you're painting along with us.
And I just let's see here. It goes by so fast now.
It does.
It does. There's your jumping. So I see that Ruth just joined us. Hi, Ruth. So and no, this is going to be on Facebook only. Everyone's asking lots of repeated questions.
Facebook only, but there's a video section. There's a playlist of full videos. It'll just be a slower pace. On Facebook, on YouTube we think about replayability because a lot of people are going to watch later. But on Facebook we realize this is more about social time and painting together.
And Sarah would like to say hello. This is her first time coming in live.
Hi, Sarah. I'm going to grab some of this green right here. See how I pulled it out of my brush?
Mm-hmm.
Now on both sides, and I'm just going to come right here and just add this nice, lovely, deep green right here.
So this is
blending this in softly. These little edges go feather, 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 feather. And it's okay that the canvas is showing through. Everything I did about this painting was about having the paint's natural property be a feature and picking up the green and not a fault. I'm going to come along here again. It's so nice to put the green near the pumpkin because they're kind of almost complements. Orange and blue are complements. Opposite ends of the color wheel.
Now, Christy was saying that she's enjoying the this show because she has she's not allowed to start another painting because she has too many started.
Uh-oh.
So
let's finish this one together. Let's make that our goal.
Yeah.
So let's all get some blue right there on our brush. And we're just, hopefully you're kind of seeing the pattern. We'll go right into the green with this blue. Go right into this and just keep, here we go, brushing that down. I like to get some white to lighten it up, and it's just a bead. See how we're going? See how easy this background is?
Yeah.
Painting does not have to be super, super hard. That's not a requirement of art. Let's just pull it out. We just pull it on the edge of our bristles. Just enjoying that. That's what we're talking about when we talk about what's on the end of our brush is bristles.
Mm-hmm.
You can put a little white right in here. If you've got an eye where you think you just, oh, I need to break it up, you can just add a little white. You're making an abstract background, see? I went up there in the upper corner. Just painting along. Let's get some more blue. Paint it right there. It's always nice. Coming down here, a little blue.
Now, is this a background where you could just stop anywhere? Like if you had to answer some questions and you just be like, if
Yeah,
I
I
was going
could stop. The reason is it's going to layer. It looks really great if you blend it wet into wet, but it's going to layer anyways. And so it's easy to stop. And
So it's okay if you were just, like if you had a whole bunch of people hanging out here and you just started to chat away with your friends, it wouldn't be any big deal.
it would not be a huge deal. But what it'll do is so acrylic paint has soft and hard edges. The basics paint dries a little slower than the professional paints. And you'll find that in, like, here, see how it's like a bit of a harder edge versus there where it's soft.
Oh, gosh.
That's all it is. But it doesn't really hurt the background. Let's get some green. And let's pop some interesting little abstract in here, right? So these just all work together. I'm going to get a little more white. Notice I'm just not even rinsing my brush. Every background will be a little bit different. And there's no right or wrong for it. You're just making, see, I go up there and put a little stroke, and then you can finish off with a little bit of blue here at the bottom. I might have to move my canvas to the side.
I thought you might be turning that.
Thank you for predicting me. But I haven't rinsed my brush yet. See how easy that background is? It's still wet there, so it's blending softly. And that, I might put a little interesting element up here because I want to break it up and have it be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to rinse out my brush, shake it back vigorously in the water.
You get really rinsed out.
And I wipe it out. And so with this paint, you should be able to kind of even go over it if it dries because it glazes, which means it's very transparent.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah. But it may lift if it's semi-wet. That's an interesting thing it does. So if you need it to be very stable, you may have to hit it with a hairdryer. We will a couple of times.
God,
so we're doing a catch-up.
A catch-up.
We've got a catch-up. We're going to let everyone catch up on their backgrounds. Because it's just a happy little background. How you guys doing?
Well, we have Little Brush and Jackie and Sophie who are painting along with us. They would like to say
Jackie
hello.
Hi.
And, just so you know, we're just short of 500 people in here. This has been pretty exciting. There's a lot of folks who are wanting to paint along with us. So this has been pretty exciting. And that would explain why things are going so quick. The chat is just hopping with folks.
You can actually stop it. Did you know that? And drag it back up.
Yes. Yes.
I'm a bit more Facebook forward than John. John has a very uncomfortable relationship to Facebook. I would say that's accurate. He's not really sure what happens in the feed or how things get there or where stuff comes from.
And it's
it's a journey. But he has the best Facebook feed because people give him the best, cutest gifts and memes and funny things.
So Vicky would like to say that she loves your video. She's really enjoyed painting along with you, and this has been a really great experience here. So she loves doing that with you.
I really appreciate that. I appreciate you guys, doing this experiment with us because this is very exciting. It's something different. It's a different way that we can paint with you guys. We noticed that so many people are painting along now. And you might not know this, but I've followed along other people's tutorials to see what it's like.
Gotcha.
To see what your experience is. And, some of them are, they're clipping. And I have a lot of decades of skill. And I ask myself honestly, am I keeping up because I already know what's happening? Or am I keeping up because I'm keeping up? And I have to say it's because I already know what's happening. Now,
we have out on our website, we have all the materials listed for this, right?
And it's in the description.
And there's a traceable out there as well. Now,
there's traceable.
There's other lessons.
And it's free. There's nothing to sign up. And it's nothing to get the traceable.
We have all of our collections out there so that you can go out there and you can find this and lots of other paintings just like this one.
Yes.
So
But moving along a little quicker. Sometimes they're just 20 minutes long for the whole painting.
Yeah. We just wanted to make sure that this one was a little lower, little chiller.
Key, little chill, little sip your ginger ale. I'm thinking I want some elderberry lemonade from the grocery store.
Elderberry lemonade. That would be...
I'm thinking I do.
Have to check that out. All right.
Thinking I do. I'm feeling that need. Some little boutique artisanal lemonade. It's really lovely. It's lower in sugar. Healthy life choices.
Lisa says she's loving this background.
Hi, Lisa. I'm so glad.
This is Lisa A.
Lisa A?
This is a different Lisa.
Also, an honorable and amazing name. If you are named Lisa, you are strong and insightful and courageous and smart and funny. I bet you already knew that, though.
So as we're doing on the next part, you'll have to explain to everybody what the squirrels are that are all over our website and Facebook page.
Oh, okay. All right. So while you guys are catching up, one of our community members and people that helps us with our what we do with the ArtSherpa.
Nikki says, done.
Done. Excellent. He rescued a squirrel during the hurricanes, and so he's been hand raising the squirrel, and Brisby Bee has become a part of our family. I love Brisby updates.
Mm-hmm.
Brisby is awesome sauce. I actually found a forum for squirrels today to share with Joey because I'm so into squirrels. And then we discovered that we have another fan, Levi and Brisby talk, and they both talk to me, and it's kind of goofy and fun in the group. So are we done? We ready to move on? All right. I'm going to go back into my... I think I'm going to get my round again.
Okay.
And I'm going to, at first, I'm going to just talk with my brown paint, right? I'm just going to get some on here. Hoarding the pigment, right? My brush is not wet. You can see I don't have a lake going. And I'm going to start to create the ribs or shapes of this. So one of the things that can help you is if you come over a couple fingers, it can help you space your ribs when you're trying to space them. I'm just stroking down with the brown. Because this paint is very transparent, I can do a lot to enjoy layering it, and it can look very nice in relationship to itself. I'm just getting a little brush on here, and so I'm saying, all right, maybe there's a little more here. 4 fingers. Not all the way to the bottom, right? Come over, nice big little hand here. See how we spaced it out?
Mm-hmm.
Right. There you go. Now we've got to come between in the middle of these 2 spots, right? Giving ourselves nice segmentation. Because pumpkins are sort of round and fabulous like this, aren't they? The next thing is I'm going to start working with the black. I'm going to get my brown, my black, and I'm going to be crazy and get a little bit of blue. And I pick these 3 colors together because they have the highest pigment loads of the colors that I have. Making this black, when you put it on, is very gray and transparent. But if you add all the other stuff to it, you can get a pretty decent black. I'm going to come in the middle here, and I'm going to make a stem. I'm going to stroke up about 4 inches. See that? Let it finish. A little push down a little bit. And you can see, even with that paint, it's still a little transparent, right?
Yeah.
That's just how it is. I'm going to come and pull down a little bit. And then I like to make my stem like a little broken. So I'm going to come over here and pull this down. Isn't that lovely? But it's still going to be a lot darker. If you've been painting with the basics, if you haven't learned to combine the pigments to load it, this will help a lot. So a little of my brown, a little of my blue into my black. Now all the pigment is there.
Yes.
Otherwise, it takes about 10 coats of the black. But this just fixes that right up, and you might be just 2. See, I got that right in. See how easy that is?
Don was asking where you get all your fabulous hats.
Well, I make a lot of them.
Yeah.
And I go on Etsy. I really like Etsy artists.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes, like, I don't really knit. And when it gets cooler in the year and we have more AC, I can wear my knit hats. And so...
Yep.
And then depending on how well I colored my hair, you know, it's a hat day or not hat day. I'm just speaking truth. So how's that going? How are we doing?
Good. I think doing pretty well. Everybody seems to be doing okay here, keeping up with us, I think. So there's a lot of people who are also just joining us.
Just joining?
Facebook is a discovery zone. So like people are
if
like...
you're brand new here, what are we doing? We're showing everyone how to do this painting. It's just a free painting party that you can do in your house.
And we're going to leave this painting up so you can rewind and watch it from the beginning.
Yes.
And
I'm going to put it in my full painting lessons playlist here on Facebook. That's a video tab that you can find. If you open that up, you'll see there's playlists. Select those. And you'll see that I actually have a whole bunch of free art lessons just sitting here. Mm-hmm. Being adorable, ready for you to paint. Anytime.
Yep. Now, today you're painting with the paint that everybody voted on.
Right. So we have a group. And I like to do things that you guys are interested in doing. And so I asked what kind of student paint would everybody want to paint. And I think I put up a bunch of paints that I knew. I didn't actually put in Liquitex Basics, interestingly enough, because I thought, maybe everybody would want to do bottom paint.
Yeah.
And but I always let you guys write it in. Like, always let you write it in. And so you guys wrote in Liquitex Basics, and that won by magnitudes. I mean, it wasn't a landslide as much as a paint slaughter. So once we realized this was the paint you most wanted to get some more techniques and skills with, and I said, all right, because I was going to go out and buy the 48-piece set, because I was like, let's get all the paint. And then I thought, that's my inclination, but it might not be yours. So I wrote and I said, what paint set do you want? And we put in all the paint sets, and you voted on this one. And you said, I want to learn how to use these colors. I want to learn how to mix more. I want to learn how to work with just this budget. And I said, all right, let's do that. I have some future paintings. So if you got the kit just for this, there's some more paintings coming up, so you didn't get it for nothing. And, if you have other paints that are these colors, they'll work. And if you've painted with me for a while, you kind of already know all your exchanges.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you've been doing that on YouTube. If you don't know, I teach art on YouTube. But now also on the Facebook. I like to say the Twitter and the Facebook and the Instagram, because it just upsets my eldest daughter. All right, so I have a number 8 bright. It's just a little smaller than the first one I did. I'm going to dip it in water, take off the extra, and I'm going to start putting in some pumpkin stuff. I'm going to get a little white into my yellow to improve some coverage. And I'm going to lay my first layer in with just this yellow. Because yellow you can see it's real transparent, even with the white. I tend to always put a little white into my yellow, simply because yellow is the least pigmented of all the paints in these lines.
Interesting.
Yep. So I'm just brushing this in curved lines. See, I'm just curving the brush stroke, right, down to midway on the pumpkin. I'm going to come around the whole pumpkin with these nice little yellow strokes. The first layer. Let me have to put out some more white. And you notice I'm hoarding my paint pigment, right, by not using a lot of water. If I used a lot of water, this paint would have trouble binding. If I used a lot of water, all the pigment would go into the water. I'm going to pull clean water here and put a little more white.
No.
This is the one you're going to go through the fastest on these sets. You're going to go through the white at 4 times the rate of any of the other colors.
Now, you grabbed fresh water there.
Yes.
That's an important thing for people. Why?
Yes, it is. It totally is.
Why is that?
The reason I grabbed fresh water is that I noticed when I rinsed my brush out and took it to my yellow, a small amount of pigment, I don't know if you can see it,
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah.
got into there, and I was like, that water is too dirty. I'm going to lose all the brightness out of my painting very quickly if I don't change my water. And so I did.
Gotcha.
Isn't that fun? So I'm just going to grab this and a little bit of white. So it does make it a little more ducky.
Dawn says she's right. The first color I ran out of was the white in the 48-piece set.
Yes, the white is going to go at 3 times the rate. And it's also probably the best first color to upgrade.
Now, while you're going there, can you explain to Katie was asking, what is binding and underbinding?
So acrylic paint is acrylic polymer emulsion. So it's pigment inside an acrylic polymer emulsion. It's I can never say this thing. It's this, basically it's a plastic that dries. It doesn't cure it, it air dries. Doesn't chemically cure. And when you paint with this, the real only issue that you can really have is that you somehow interfere with this paint's ability to stick to the canvasser itself. Because you're painting in colored sheets of clear plastic. Really, essentially.
And binding and underbinding is referring to the stickiness or non-stickiness.
So
of
if
the
I
paint.
paint over the top of this, does this black flake off this background, or does it mesh into it? The pigment molecules and the polymer molecules should actually be sort of smudging themselves into what's underneath. Interestingly enough. This should be becoming one.
Bonding.
They should be bonding. So I love this. This is looking good. Do you guys have your yellow tops in?
Let's see here.
See, this is just a little bit chiller.
Cheryl says she's using 3 waters.
She's using what?
3 waters.
That is not the word. I have to use 3 because you'll see that a lot. I switch out a lot. I have a lot of water here. But I paint with on YouTube with really heavily pigmented paints.
Now,
Really heavily pigmented.
what they're asking, what brushes are you using there?
So I'm using the black pearls. I wanted to, make sure I didn't use like, I have a brush line and I didn't want to use like the red handles in my brush line. So I have a series of entry sets for new painters. And they're black pearls and they're amazing. And they have the Mitlon fiber, which I think is really great. They're by Silver Brush. And so I was going to use those because they're a little bit more like what you might find in your journey.
And now Judy and Sarah said both yes. Yellow top in. They're ready
Yellow
to go.
top in. All right. So now that our yellow top is in, we get to start pumping it up, man.
Yeah.
I got to pump it up. So I'm going to take a little of my orange, my low both sides, and get a little of my yellow. And I'm going to loosely mix those. See how they're loosely mixed on the brush? I didn't thoroughly work them together. And I'm going to just brush this up, my pumpkin, curving my brush stroke to talk about the shape of my pumpkin.
The pumpkin shape.
My pumpkin shape is very curved. It's round.
Mm.
It's very round.
As opposed to the square watermelons that you can get now.
As opposed to the square watermelons that you can get now. You laugh, but they'll have one next year.
No, they do.
Do they?
Yeah.
That's not cute.
They grow the watermelons in a box,
Oh, no.
and they grow square.
Oh, no.
And they did that so they would fit in refrigerators better.
Oh, my goodness.
It was. I saw it's a Japanese thing. It was really cool.
I was about to say that sounds very Japanese.
Yeah, it's where I think that's where it started, and that's where I saw the first ad for them. I thought it was really cool. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so clever.
So I'm just taking this up, but you can see I'm leaving the yellow because what's the hardest color to retain is our yellow, right?
Mm-hmm.
That sort of brightness. And yes, as we go, we're going to come back in, but that underpainting of yellow is going to really, really save us. Save us.
Oh, now could you? They would like for you to make sure you touch on which colors you're using there.
I would be so happy to.
That. Just some, so that.
So I have the Cad Orange, the primary yellow, the light green permanent, the burnt sienna because the burnt umber's too transparent for any of this. It's really, this I use as a glaze, or as a tint.
Right.
Phthalo blue, phthalo green, Mars black, titanium white, and primary red. I actually haven't pulled the alizarin crimson into this. We'll see where we get, because I think we're going to get there with primary red.
Nice.
But right now, we have to get the orange of our pumpkin up before we fall it all up.
Orange it up.
We got to orange it up. Orange it up, man. We're getting also this sort of basic coat of paint on our canvas, right?
Yes.
Covering it.
Covering
getting that
it.
white all covered up. But you'll notice it's very transparent, right?
It is.
The nice thing about this color and this color is they just make another nice color, so I don't ever have to worry about that.
And these paints lend themselves to this nice. It's almost a glazing approach to it.
It's a glazing approach. It's a glazing approach. I glazed.
You could get fancy and say, I grisailled my pumpkin in.
This is not technically a grisaille.
Well, that's because
It would be very good for a grisaille. You could use this paint as a grisaille top coat. So if you follow my Big Art Quest on YouTube, I make things like grisaille super easy and super groovy for everybody to do because everything in art is actually super easy and super groovy. Oh. Live. If you're wondering if this is live, in-stream photo adjustment. Hands. You can see like the outlines of my burlap background. There we go. Isn't it cheerful? So cheerful. That's beach. Oh no. It's fine. It's just acrylic. What's going to be left? Let me tell you what's going to be left after we're all gone. The acrylic paintings. Nobody's going to know about those oils and watercolors. It's going to be all the acrylics.
Yeah.
I just have to wait long enough and then we win.
That was not a RoboCam.
All right. Are we caught up with our orange?
I think so. Yes, I was.
All right.
I was over there adjusting cameras. I'm sure that they're back here.
So I'm going to load up my brown and my blue again and a little black, like you do. And I'm going to come back here
and
make sure that this is a darker shadow. And I'm even going to pull some of this out. See this? How I'm stroking this out from the center of the pumpkin and defining this around. So it's a little of the brown A little of the blue, some of the black. And we're just making sure that our pumpkin, right? You don't want to take out all the yellow you put in. You can take it out a little bit because we're making it rustic. We're rusticking it up. But you can see why it's hard to come back and put any bright pops. That's a struggle. So put a few bright pops in before you start.
Now, the Debbie was asking, why would we call this a glazing approach?
So you can't really put opaque, non-see-through layers of paint in impasto elements over each other with Basics paint because it's very transparent, all of it. So what I say about any medium that you have, everything is a feature. Just lean into what it does.
Yeah.
If it doesn't do thick coats of impasto, you know, and because like this paint, like if you do thick coats of impasto, it'll shrink down. It won't really hold the stroke very well, and sometimes it won't just like, you know, just layer a white right over another color and make it disappear.
But it naturally...
And artists get like, they're like, well, it's supposed to do that. Okay, maybe. But if you let that go, if you just release the need for it to perform that way and go, what is it doing that's awesome?
Well, it's
right?
glazing pretty good, yeah.
It glazes really well.
Yeah.
And it dries a little bit slower. And so I just think about how I'm painting it a little bit, and then I'm going to have a great painting experience. I mean, all paint is real paint. It just does different things. I keep saying I painted with coffee.
Yep.
Believe you me, coffee's a problem. So see, we have that nice little streakage there. Now I think it's sort of fun to get a little of the red, a smidge of my brown, and some of my orange. And sort of come up from the bottom of my pumpkin.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Adding this sort of rich color. You can even do a little of the yellow in the red because it'll make a whole new kind of cool orange. See how it's doing?
Oh, yeah.
Not quite cat orange. And it's riching, like making the pumpkin more rich and exciting. And you can take this up. Just the brush stroke should imply the pumpkin. Super fun stuff. Little orange, little red. I find I do use a little bit more paint, like a little yellow. That was too red of a stroke, but that's okay on the pumpkin because it can be, you know, it can be a little bit anything.
It could be a little bit anything.
It can be. You don't have to be stressed about it. You just curve your strokes and layer up your paint and enjoy the journey.
So, man, this is one of
We'll
those
put
times.
out a little more orange, this Cad Orange Hue. That's what they say it is. So I guess I will believe them.
Diana maybe laughed here because the chat was going by pretty fast, and she wrote, "I've painted with beet juice."
Awesome.
That was pretty cool. But see, when I first read it, it said, "I've painted with beetle juice." And I was
also
like, I was
awesome.
like, "Whoa, that's really cool!" So I was scrolling back trying to see what happened.
Like, you had a fan moment, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
A little brown, a little red, a little orange, because it's fall.
It is fall.
It's fall. Look, we're just taking this up and it's rusting it up. Rustic. It's a rustic pumpkin, right? And now it's orange instead of yellow, which is probably a relief to everybody.
It's pumpkin-y.
I'm just grabbing. See, I just pull out. I'm loosely mixing. I don't, go like that. That would be thoroughly mixing. I'm loosely mixing.
Loosely.
So they're just little layers of paint that I brush up and
Now,
enjoy.
the nice thing about that loosely paint is it kind of blends on the canvas.
It blends on the canvas. It streaks. Another thing you're seeing me do here. See how some of this canvas is just refusing to be painted?
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
I'm just wiggling this back and forth where I have areas that have refused to be painted.
You're just scrubbing it a little?
I am. This paint is going to do what I say, whether it likes it or not. I know that if I get into my water, boy, if I try to varnish or anything, it's all going to lift up. So
now, your brush helps deal with helps you move that paint a little better, doesn't it?
it does help me move the paint a little bit better. But again, lean into what your brush is doing. I have a video right now about painting with Basics, better fur. More realistic
More
fur.
better.
And I used like really kind of crazy bristle brushes.
But it's safe to say you can make your economy paint go much farther with a better set of brushes.
It does help. I'm going to grab some little brown here and just make sure my pumpkin it's feeling its feels, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I like to rinse out at this stage. It's out at this stage, my friends. And I'm going to do an interesting thing. I'm going to grab a yellow and a little bit of my orange and some white. See, I'm done. Loosely mixed again.
Yes.
And I'm just pulling that streak back down. Look at that.
Oh, it's all streaky.
Streaky. Little yellow, little white, little orange. All like a little mishmash.
I just saw that Mr. Ian joined us.
Hi,
Hello,
Ian. If it's going too creamy on you, get a little more yellow into it.
That's one of the things I really
All right,
enjoy
look at
here.
this. You just put the little more yellow into it if it goes too creamy.
I love seeing all our community here. It's so nice. We can see all the little hearts and loves that come floating by.
Always
all the
nice.
emojis. It's so nice.
Emojis. Emojis. I've got a little bit, then we'll have a little catch-up.
Well, yeah, that's good. Debbie was asking, do you find that basics lift?
That I have to fix.
Well, what'd you do?
I put my paint in my paint. Yes, I do find basics
You put the
lift.
lime in the coconut?
I find basics lift a lot. No denying that.
You put the lime in the coconut, didn't you?
I put the lime in the coconut.
I saw it. And you're trying to get it out.
Yeah, I'm just going to, mostly get it out.
Mostly get it out.
You're not allowed to participate. Go over there.
No, go back into the...
I need this one Q-tipped out.
It's been polluted.
Polluted. A little orange
it's
and a little
yellow.
yellow and a smidge. See how little white's in there?
Yellow contaminates so easily.
It does. And we're still almost there, though. This layering now is giving us a pretty great result. So, and you can see how having a little bit of that yellow underneath, helpful. Get a little yellow, a little white. Using the yellow and white method on the top, helpful. Going right wet into wet. See how I'm stroking? There you go. And through here. Just simple, easy, happy stuff.
And Lorraine says bonjour, cinnamon.
Bonjour, ça va bien?
Yes, because it.
It's
did
actually bonne nuit. Because, it's nighttime for me, girl.
Well, she actually said hello in French, and Facebook did the auto magic translation.
No,
It
Facebook
did.
will not automatically translate
Well,
me. I'll tell you that right now.
It said at the bottom of her little comment, it said translated. So
I
I'm guessing.
genuinely speak truly terrible French.
Yeah, like a peasant.
I do. I was told.
By
Right there in Carcassonne.
You were.
By a pretty good artist that I speak like a peasant.
That was pretty good.
Pretty well, but like a peasant. I was like, oh, you're a peach.
And that's in the South.
I just
How
did
we
my
deal with
yellow
that.
and white, and I'm just making sure that there's some brightness here. See, and I'm soft pressure, right? Now, at some point, you're going to find you have to stop with your paint because it needs to dry. Dry. And the best way to do that is just hit it with a hair dryer.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do that and have some ketchup and a little sip, and then we'll get to the next bit, which finishes it all off.
Ooh. And oh my gosh, we have this. I'm so excited because I'm just reading up here in the chat. This is so nice to have all you guys with us here. This has been a really nice experience to do Facebook. We normally are out on YouTube, and this is to have such a great response from all of our community and seeing you guys from all over the world that are come in. I love that I can see all the emojis and the chat coming by. Guys, don't forget, you can find out about this project and all of the other projects that we do on TheArtSherpa.com. And there's a link to that in the description below. Mm-hmm. And, Cinnamon, I wanted you to know, I would totally tell you this Sherpette's name. But if I could, but it's in Japanese. And I got to use the cool magic translation tool, which said, good evening, everyone. So they said good evening, which I'm imagining is
Good
some
evening to you, too.
form of
I don't
konnichiwa.
think it has a magic translation tool. But we're waving at you. I
We
hope
are.
you know it.
Hello.
Hello. I do not speak Japanese badly or at all. So I'm not going to try because that could be socially awkward and we don't need no more of that. So I'm getting my brush wet. Oh, wait. We haven't done a catch-up. We have to do a catch-up.
Cool. Do a cat's up.
Cat's up.
Cat's up.
Cat's up.
Okay. What's our catch up?
We're just letting everyone
Oh,
catch up for a
we're
second.
letting you catch up. Oh, that's right. Well, I think I'm looking over here. There's lots of comments and jokes happening. I would have to say this is a very
If you guys are caught up, be sure and type done. We need you guys to let us know if you're painting along live. Because, I used to say this at the painting party. Some people come for the party and some people come for the class.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's going to be true of our Facebook thing. I think some people are just going to come and chat and see their friends and talk art and have a great laugh. And I think some people are going to come and really paint along. So if you're painting along because you're actively busy right now, be sure you reach over the keyboard and let us know how you're doing.
Sarah, Sally, they're all saying done, done, done.
Excellent.
And our friend from Japan says, this is awesome.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love that. I wish they had like a live in translation. So I'm adding a little blue to my brown and a little black, and I'm going to come, shade up my pumpkin.
Carrie said she's here for the party. Just wanted to make sure you knew.
Yeah, and that is so valid. Let me tell you, come for the party. I never used to take that personally.
Mm-hmm.
I would never make anybody do the class if they didn't want to.
Ria's from Greece.
From Greece?
And it's 3 a.m, and I have to go to bed, but she wants to say much love to you.
Oh, thank you.
And I got to use the translation tool to find that out. Isn't that cool?
That is really cool.
Because she wrote that in Greek.
So I just shaded, if you notice, the black and the brown to this side of the pumpkin. I'm just giving it a little bit of shading. Right? We're shading it a little bit. Like you do. A little black and brown. A little shading. This is supposed to be just fun. We're just having fun. We're not trying to change the art world and turn it on its ears and overthrow the world and make everybody stop and think and question their relationship to Wall Street like the guy that did the little girl in front of the pool. We're just painting.
That's not true. We're doing that. We're just doing it quietly.
We're just doing it quietly. I guess that's true.
We're just one person at a time getting you guys to paint.
So can you see how I created these different, these sort of little lines that shaded this that sort of make it more pumpkin-y? Makes it a little more pumpkin-y.
We like to see your guys' paintings. This is the biggest thing that you can do.
I'm going to dip just a little in water, but I want to keep all my pigments, so not much, because this little part here is fighting me and will not give up the ghost.
Yeah, the biggest thing you can do for us is show us your artwork.
There we go.
We love seeing what you guys do, and it's such a wonderful celebration when we get to see that you guys painted something with us. So please share that up on Facebook with us so we can see your paintings too.
Well, we're just doing this here, and you can see how the yellow and white and the orange and all of that is playing together, looking good.
And then you're just adding a little shading there.
We're adding a little shading to our pumpkin. We need a little bit at the bottom, but it always makes me so nervous.
Oh, yeah?
Because that's where it can get weird.
Weird.
That's where it can get weird, man. I'm just saying. Keep Beach City weird.
But
I'm not a Steven Universe fan, and that's not happening. Okay, so
Lynette says, I'm here for the
stroking
fun
this
too.
out from the heart outwards.
Oh, your hat's hiding. There it is. Your hat hid it from me.
Thank you.
It just was one of those
It is
days.
John's job to tell me when I'm in the way of my own painting, because I'll get to leaning. I get lazy, and I get to leaning.
And someday
I'm
we'll
going to
have...
just imply a little line down here. You don't have to do this because it can make it weird.
It can, because it's gotta be right.
Yeah, it's one of those ones, I would say make up your mind if it's something you want to do. If you do, it's okay. Right? So if you do, it's okay, but if you don't, that's also okay. Just shading the pumpkin. Whoa, shade the pumpkin. I think we are allowed to... Are we still allowed to do music on Facebook, or have they shut that down already?
Well, we can do our own music.
No, I mean, didn't they used to just let anyone play anything?
I think that they've shut that down.
Did they shut that down? Because
Now,
they want to be real.
Nolette would like to lead the charge and say, please, 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 can we have a number 2 cat's tongue? There's a petition forming.
I'll tell you exactly how this works. There is one. Just let Silverbrush know how excited you are about that. Because he's wholly motivated by that. They are totally motivated by your interest. And I think, as things sell and stuff works in the line and we work with products, we see what we love.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to see what we love. And I'm sure the things that we love, there'll be more of.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I had a lot of people ask me for a giant cloud, like a number 30 cloud, like a big one.
That would be cool.
So, but that's really going to be about how you like those products and the feedback that we get and, what your experience is.
Nanette was asking, John, do you and Cinnamon dress up in costumes? And then it doesn't
Dress up
matter
in
what you say
costume?
after that, really.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I'm taking a little yellow and white, and I'm going to come and just brighten up the top of my pumpkin, if that's okay, guys, 'cause I just need it to be brighter. So I'm brightening it up. So I just want it to be brighter. And the trick with the yellow is you can't put it out unless you're thinking about putting out some white or commit to the glaze. You don't want to get it in more green.
Now, Lorraine would like to know, do you keep your hairdryer on the hot setting?
I don't. I keep it on the cool setting.
Now, that's because of color shift, right?
Well, so here's what. Acrylic paint is definitely temperature sensitive.
Yeah.
A lot of these companies, we tease Golden all the time about like having paint you could paint with in space. Because they test it and freeze it and unfreeze it and do all this craziness with it. But the honest truth is between shipping and storage and formulation, stuff can get crazy.
Yes.
Heat and extreme cold are two of the things that greatly affect acrylic paint. Like a lot of people don't know this. You would never want to run a torch over it even loosely because there's micro molecules or something in here that can explode and release things you don't want in your lungs for any reason.
It's plastics.
You wouldn't want to use a heat gun like in any real way because you can, there's plastics. Just talk to a fireman like one time about melting plastics. One fireman about one time about melting plastics. And they that's too much weight.
But if you don't apply,
offload.
If you keep it within the normal usage boundaries, it's perfectly safe and fine.
Yeah, perfectly safe on the cool setting. Probably perfectly safe on the hot setting, but you could exaggerate the color shift.
Yeah, it's just
of your pumpkin.
So
I'm just
paint
wanting
is
that there.
temperature
and I'm gonna
sensitive.
get a little more orange. Let's add some orange because we want our pumpkin to be super orange. Cat orange is it. Just putting the orange in. Every time you do this, you can get a slightly different, happier pumpkin out.
It layers up. It
layers up. You're just layering. No white though. For that. I get asked a lot, how can I make, I couldn't understand why everyone was asking me how to make yellow ochre. And I was like, why would anyone make yellow ochre? Like this, a stage 1 paint. It's super common color. Well, it turns out it doesn't come in this set of 12.
Ooh.
I was like, oh, that's why I'm getting to ask to mix these really fundamental normal colors.
That would be why.
That would be why. I'm looking at this. I went more yellow up it. But I like what I've got, so I'm not changing it.
This pumpkin turned out a bit more orange.
It did. I just like this
okay.
pumpkin. I just like
I
it.
like
so
it.
sometimes
I
I
think
like
it's
it,
great.
and sometimes I go with it. Let me show you how you do your stem here, though.
Your stem?
Your stem.
Maria says you're cracking her up.
I hope so. I crack me up.
And you have to say that everybody in here they're all like, yes, the cat's tongue is the cat's meow.
It is the cat's meow. And truth be told, I painted the first one with it and then thought about it. I was like, uh-oh. That is not the mission statement I put in front of myself for these lessons. So I had to revisit that.
Yeah. So
how are we doing?
good. Everyone's really enjoying this. And then and Tracy's like, wait, what's a cat's tongue?
A cat's tongue is a brush that I had made for my brush line. I'm sure everyone's going to be knocking it off in 2 seconds. But usually this is in watercolor or oiled brushes. This one is for acrylic. And it looks a bit like a filbert, but it comes to a nice point. And the point and the edge really helps you have a very nice painting. It's firm enough to handle professional heavy body paint. And it just honestly rocks.
Yeah.
We love it. It's in the Sherpa line.
Now, and a pointed filbert will act similar.
A pointed filbert is similar.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes I'll call them pointed oval wash. Very similar brush. When I sat down with the brush maker, I was like, look, these brushes are in these other materials for these other types of painting. I mean, Nelson Shank loves them. Yep. Right? So I was like, we should have one too.
Now yours
I'm not going to paint anybody in Congress or the presidency, but we should not. And I'm really not. Before you guys go, yes, you really get no. And it would be very stressful for me, and I would not like it. Painting portraits at that level of pressure. I don't know how he does it. I would be breathing in a bag. I don't want to paint a pope or a king or famous people.
But now the big difference between
just like my family. You know what I'm saying? Just my family and my pets is very good.
Now the big difference between our brush and others is the filament.
It's the filament. It's actually called Sherpa White. She named it Sherpa White.
The Sherpa white filament. That's
The Sherpa white
it's because
filament.
it's really
Sweet
designed for
me.
acrylic, right?
Yeah, it's for heavy-bodied acrylic.
How's
our
they're
catch-up?
I think they're catching up right now. Yeah,
Are you guys catching? I'm kind of sad because we're almost to the end.
Yeah.
You guys loving this? Is this a
There's-
fun, alternate kind of chillaxy thingy that we can do?
I think so. Everyone's
Okay, cool.
really, really enjoying hanging out and chatting. So,
Well, let me show you yellow ochre.
okay.
Oh, and I also figured out how to do a kind of burnt sienna if you don't have it. But you have it in this one, so I don't know what set doesn't have burnt sienna. But basically, take your yellow, whatever yellow you have, over to your burnt sienna, or your burnt sienna over to your yellow, and you're going to get a color somewhat a cousin to yellow ochre. By the way, if you teach painting parties and you're ever in a pinch, that works real well.
No. They were curious. Is your hair naturally pink?
My hair is in no way naturally pink.
It doesn't come this way.
No, I think my hair is naturally strawberry blonde.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, at this stage of life, it's still augmented reality, right? So, you know, and who knows what that is, because I've been doing this pink and purple thing for about a minute.
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't looked, you know what I'm saying? I don't need to know certain things. I'm going to highlight my stem.
Change topic, change topic!
So you can see this isn't exactly yellow ochre, but it approximates it. And
Yes.
I'm just stroking little delicate strokes with my round.
Nessa says, yay, strawberry blondes.
Yeah, we're awesome, except we sunburn really bad.
You don't sunburn. You just it's like flash paper in the sun.
It
Just
is like flash paper. Grow up in California where, like, it's totally only the coolest thing in the world to be able to tan. And if you can totally tan, you're totally cool. And I totally couldn't tan, nor could I. I, like, had to be, like, out when, like, all the girls are, like, 7 feet tall and, like, 88 pounds and, like, amazing glamazons. And I'm, like, with the hat and I'm freckling by the second, building sand walls around myself. Sand fleas are getting me. I got a moonburn once. I'm not even lying. That was shameful. I got teased for that for a while.
Yep.
And I grew up in the Valley Girls Square Pegs era.
Mm.
So, you know, I don't even know I could translate what was said to me. Get my brow. Me and Carrie Fisher, man. All right. So I'm going to, you can always break it down to Mean Girls or Heathers, and I'm totally the Heathers. So I'm taking the brown, and I'm coming along here. There we go. Just these little highlights, right? Little stem now. Isn't that nice? Isn't that a nice little stem?
Came together.
If you need it to be even brighter, which I can see I do, I'm going to add a little white because my brown and my yellow don't have a lot of pigment. Watch this.
Whoosh. Just kapow.
Fixed it.
It just
Yeah. One good way to see your painting is take a picture with your cell phone and then look at it small.
there is a lot of redhead with freckle solidarity happening.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, like, okay, so I see my hands on the hands videos, and I just think to myself, oh my God, I got a lot of freckles. like nobody ever gives me any grief about it. Everybody's like super nice. It's art.
I think freckles is only something you tease or get teased at when you're like in first grade.
Yeah, but in first grade, it's a real experience.
I think that's like the only thing. It's like, well, how are you different? Well, you have dots on your face, so
Dude,
I will make fun
all
of those.
over it, and generally that skin peeled back right here.
Oh, from the sunburns?
And a burn here, and a burn here, and then I had to wear that bullfrog stuff, the zinc white thing, and thank goodness I could surf a little.
Yeah.
Had kind of an excuse. All right, so that's weird and random, but we're gonna keep painting.
Random.
We get so much trouble for so much randomness on YouTube, so everyone's loving it on Facebook. Woohoo! So I'm gonna load up my brush with some brown and some black. Brown and black to improve the pigment load. Get some blue in it if you need it, because you're just trying to make a more pigmented color, right? You're like, give me all the pigments. Yes. Now, I've got my round brush. You can see it's kind of gloppily loaded on. I'm going to come back a little bit, and I'm going to be like a very calligraphy stroke. You can take computer paper, practice paper, newsprint paper, and practice your wiggles. This is where, as a new painter, you probably like really have a moment, right? And what I'm going to say is practice first before you do your painting, because you might be really happy right here.
Yeah.
Okay? See how it's working out on your newsprint before you take it here.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. You can even chalk in a line you like and then just trace over it. But I'm going to show you my sort of airy-fairy way of doing it. So I'm going to come up and I'm going to wiggle around, and because I'm okay with it all.
That's all you do. Just
Right. I've been painting a really long time, and I was like, as long as it's got a wiggle, it's all good to me. If you're really new, you might have some real emotional investments in your wigglitude.
Yep.
So I'm going to come here and just, I have to dry that. See what happened there?
You got some, but it actually added flavor. Oh, she's just grabbing and going. Look at that. So what I'll say is, while she's bragging that, don't forget to check out in the description below, there's a link to our website, TheArtSherpa.com, where you can find a link to all the descriptions, the traceable, and all the information about this and many other projects like
so many projects, something like 400 projects. So many projects. So many projects. Here we go, over here. There we are. Look at that. Just a wigglitude. I just traced over my bad wiggle with a good wiggle.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's all you want. You just want wigglitude.
There are no bad wiggles.
There are no. All your wiggles are valid. So I'm just gonna I just let my brush be a little wanderer. Because I'm a wanderer. I did put a little water on there, but not much. Because again, I'm hoarding it.
When you said
come up here and wander around. It's just like dancing on the canvas. I think what gets people is they tend to want to go woo woo, like they go woo 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 woo, and then they're like, I don't like that. So practice. Practice your free-spirited, airy-fairy little vines that are going somewhere, doing their little thing.
You go in there and you say, all squiggles are valid. It makes me think of an art critique where you're going to have to stand there and defend your squiggle.
Defend it. Defend it. From the Codan Armada. Okay, so...
And Zur.
And Zur. Sorry. When is that going to be remade? Anyways, we teach art. I don't know why we keep reviewing sci-fi properties. We teach art.
If they're really lucky, they're just going to sell it to a video game company who will make it as a serialized game.
I don't know. I think the Pandora guy should make it.
Maybe.
Cameron?
Yeah.
Cameron? I don't know. Right now, who knows? Who knows who's going to be left after all of this? I think we should see what happens to Hollywood and what all shakes out. I doubt we're done.
Yes.
How are we liking this?
This is
Did we
great.
pumpkin?
Now it seems to be missing something though.
Oh, signature.
You gotta put
the signature on it. I need a smaller brush. Okay. Here is my black pearl number 1. Comes in the portrait set, so it counts.
Yeah.
And you can get these, you can get these open stock anywhere that silver brushes are sold. Mm-hmm. So, and that's pretty much everywhere.
Lorraine loves the pumpkin.
So we're just going to come up here. Now, here's my whole thing on signatures. You've never seen me before. I have a whole thing on signatures, but this is basically it. In the art world, there's a massive debate of to sign or not to sign, and this is pertinent to professional gallery juried artists, right? Because some artists do abstract work. The signature is damaging to the finishing of the work. They don't want to restrict how the piece is hung, and so they have to genuinely worry about this. For most of us, a signature is a good thing. It lets people know who made the painting.
Right.
But it's also part of the composition. So if you put like a big crazy signature somewhere, it pulls the eye, and that's all anybody ever sees. And you are wonderful. You are beautiful. But shine with your painting. So I like to think about where my signature can go and be playful, exist in the painting, look like it belongs, and not pull the eye too much. So I'm going to come up here and follow the line of the pumpkin. And I'm going to do it with this black so it feels a little bit like the vines. Just because you're starting out painting or you're a student artist doesn't mean that all the things that artists think about when they think about art doesn't apply to you. It can still apply to you. You still have a right. We certainly had some conversation about, were these valid enough paintings? And what I'm going to say is, a complete painting is a complete painting.
Yes.
Okay? You're in an art journey. This is not the definition of who you'll be in a year from now as an artist, or who you'll be 20 paintings from now as an artist. These things just are constantly changing and fluid. You're learning new skills. You're discovering skills that are more challenging. And as you go through that, you become the painter that you're going to be. And they're all totally valid. And not everybody needs to hang in the Louvre.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is really exciting.
Or wants to, even, at all. I would be included in that. I would feel so weird there.
There's lots of people saying that they sign, they're talking about different brushes that they sign with. Some people are using Dagger brushes or rigging brushes. Some people are saying they sign on the back of the canvas.
Excellent. Still a good choice.
Yeah.
You don't have to sign the front.
So there's
Not required. What if you put like 1,000 hours in a hyper-realistic painting? You gonna slap your signature on there?
now,
So people see that it's a painting and you just ruined all the work. No.
Jan's
you
really,
might not. You might, but you might not.
Jan says she's really enjoyed the Facebook experience here, and Tracy says thank you for helping with which she loves the motivating paintings. So
I like doing it like this, slowing down a little bit, chilling out a little bit, showing you some different materials. We have a really fun painting coming up in a couple weeks. If you check the page, we will definitely send out an email blast about it and change the video up top, and you'll get to see it. And it's pretty cool, and again, uses just this set of paints. Just this set of paints. Do we have, before we go, since we don't have any YouTube requirements, do we?
No.
I almost put my my brush right in my little ginger ale there.
Now, do you before we go, could you show a Dagger brush real quick? Because I think you have one.
I have a ton.
The blue handle
I have
ones.
I have some 3-sided daggers by the Bristle-ons over there have some daggers, and then I have a bunch of 3-sided daggers. Here's one. Like I have the triangle dagger, and I have what size dagger do we want? This is a good size dagger. It's a mid-size dagger. Okay, so these are the daggers.
Hold on. Oh, I gotta zoom over there. I gotta move the camera. Go.
So this fabulous little fabulosity is a triangle, but it's also kind of, if you look at the cut on, it's a dagger. It's flat right here, so it gives you sort of a wider little thing as you press down. And
daggers tend to have a longer.
Let's look at it.
And
let's look at some brushes. I happen to have all these crazy brushes.
They're the shorter cousin of the.
So you can see this loaded up.
Oops, hold on.
So if you do it real fine, look at the line.
Oh yeah.
Hairline. You can press and get it thicker. Thinner very easily. So that's a triangle.
Now.
And then this is a Bristle-on dagger. That's pretty much the daggeriest of the daggers. You get the sizing out of it. So I'm going to load it up. And again, these are just lovely. And if you're into calligraphy, they're also just fantastic. See, because they do this thick, thin.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody's business. So, not really an ideal surface, but you get the gist.
Yeah.
It's a dagger, and we get daggery about it. We pumpkined up.
We did pumpkin up, and you got some bonus dagger video.
And we got some bonus dagger. You guys didn't even know about the daggers. Really check your daggers where you're getting them. Not all daggers are made equal.
No.
Some daggers are dagger-esque.
The filament is. Oh, Lorraine's like squirrel. She's excited about the squirrel tomorrow.
So, if you guys are excited about the squirrel tomorrow, please check out the YouTube channel because I put up a playlist and 4 new videos about fur, including how to paint fur with basic paints, Liquitex Basic, how to paint fur, just the fundamentals of how do you paint fur, how to paint curly fur, and then I showed you how to do it with a cat's tongue, a round brush, and a fan.
Yes.
So pretty awesome, plus my fur quest from before, plus my cat's eye, which has a really incredible study on very natural tabby fur. So these are really great for-tastic videos, and if you're trying to paint the furry pet in your life, your furry brush, right?
Oh, yeah. No, you can't forget. Use the hashtag Sherpa Paint Along to tag your pumpkins and show them to us.
You did that at the end of the video?
This has been. See, here's the thing: is that it's been.
We'll
in the
be better at next time.
The chat folks have been seeing this because our moderators were smart enough to pin it into the chat. And so I looked over there and go, oh, look, there's a pinned comment that says, don't forget to use the hashtag Sherpa Paint Along. Thank you, moderators, for helping us.
So if you want to paint for us, and you might have the question, how much does this cost? Nothing. Free.
We just want to see your paintings.
But listen, part of this is like if you're like haven't done the painting party movement, please go try one. It's nothing like having somebody else clean up after you.
Yeah. It's
quite lovely.
It's a lot of fun to be able to go out and hang out with your friends and do this kind of thing. So,
That's a good look. That's going to be a good meme.
It's going to be a good meme.
You know somebody's going to gift me.
Yeah.
They're going to get me with the gift.
And we're going to do more of these. This is our first practice. We want to do more paint along events. We want to, we love paint along activities. We have our labs groups that do paint that take our artwork and help that for painting party events.
Yes.
So if you have a painting party event and you'd like to license some of our artwork, you can check out our labs groups.
Yeah, and in a totally friendly way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Joey is the head of that division. He's got a lot of
He's got the squirrel.
Yeah, he's got the
How
squirrel.
cool is that? You hang out with the guy with the squirrel.
And there's a lot of resources that are coming along for that program. So we're excited about it coming.
And
up
tomorrow
next
is Squirrel Day. We're gonna get
Squirrel
squirrely.
Day.
That's definitely gonna be in the 2 to 3 hoot range. We're gonna paint some Brisbane. Also in the squirrels playlist is every skill you need to have to nail that painting.
Mm-hmm.
So if you haven't done the blending quest is up there, right? If you haven't done bark, the bark quest is up there, and also all the furs.
Mm-hmm.
So like at the end of that, you'd be like, I'm ready to paint the squirrel, all the squirrel, and all the squirrel, nothing but the squirrel.
Oh, so now before we go, we should probably tell Little Brushes, Jackie and Sophie goodnight because they managed to hang out and paint with us.
Jackie and Sophie, please share your paintings.
We want to see those. Hashtag Sherpa Paint Along.
Sherpa Paint Along, and we'll see you in about 2 weeks on a Friday night. If this is same bad time, same bad channel?
I think so.
Same bad time, same bad channel. Check the banner. There'll be some goofy video of me being a complete goof. I love that you guys support that. Thank you so much. Because I don't actually have another speed. So that's helpful. Because I don't think I can do slick. John's been here a while, like 20 years.
Yeah.
Coming up in a couple of days.
And
20 years.
Yeah, and
I'll tell you, not slick.
We're gonna keep an eye on here. So it's like some people are just now finishing up. So we're gonna.
Oh yeah, we shouldn't go till we start getting some finishes.
Well, there's some people there who finished earlier on, and then there's some people who are just now finishing up, saying, "Oh, that was a little fast." And so I think we're gonna try to balance this out.
So,
and see how
that's why the conversation is important.
Yeah.
So something on the speed as we do this. We're going to keep adjusting the speed and the break time because these are community-based events.
Yes.
Right? And so you come, you paint. That's my goal for you, hopefully, is that you paint along. But again, you can come for the party and not the class. But if you come for the class, talk to us. Let us know how the speed's affecting you. Some of you will be much faster than me.
Mm-hmm.
And some of you will be much slower than me. I'm going to tell you a little secret. There's actually not a speed component to painting, except that these parties have a beginning and an end. But most artists just wander around their studio ambling around, doing things at a pace that makes them happy.
Yeah.
So no, that's our natural state.
Yeah.
Right? I have a friend who will just sit there and stare at a canvas for 2 hours before making a mark.
Yep.
And then it's a big flurry of stuff, and then nothing. That's just the speed. That's just how that goes. I wouldn't come up and be like, pace yourself or something. That's just his deal. So I like it. Was it on Orphan Black? It's just my process.
Well, I would love to hear what people think about this. So, for everybody who want to leave feedback, come leave a comment on our on one of the posts here about what you liked about this.
What you might like to see in the future.
Yeah. I think that on Facebook, don't all the comments remain?
They do, but I'm going to tell you a little inside Facebook thing. Sometimes they don't give them all to us.
Oh.
So, if ever a comment that you feel really probably should have been responded to doesn't, know that Facebook is sort of loosey-goosey about retrieving everything.
So on posts where there's lots and lots and lots of comments, we may not see your post.
Right, but we have the website for suggestions.
It's a great place.
We have the blogs. You can come by. There's a live chat on the website. There's the live feed. There's the ArtSherpa group official. There's the Big Art Quest if you're on that. There's Angelini if you're like painting with us. I mean, there's just places to come by and share feedback. We got feedback portals.
This was unanimously a success. Everybody loved this. So thank you guys for coming and hanging out with
Mary
us.
Catherine Gallagher. Woo! Memers. I got to remember that. Memers. Make a goofy face. I don't really need that because I got Snapchat now. I make my own face goofy. All right. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Have some rest. Enjoy your paintings. I can't wait to see them. And we'll see you in about 2 weeks. Same bad time, same bad channel. Bye-bye.